The Middle East, a land of empires, religions, revolutions, and conflict. A region that has shaped human civilization for over 7,000 years. From the fertile lands of Mesopotamia to the modern geopolitics of today, this is the story of one of the most complex and historically rich regions in the world. Today, we'll take you on a journey through time, exploring the rise and fall of great empires, the birth of religions, the golden ages of science and culture, and the conflicts that have shaped the modern Middle East. So sit back and prepare to dive into the entire history of the Middle East, from Mesopotamia to today. Join us as we unravel the epic saga of this fascinating region. Our story begins over 7,000 years ago, in a land that would become the birthplace of human civilization. This region, known as Mesopotamia, is often referred to as the Cradle of Civilization, because it was here that humans first began to form complex societies, develop writing systems, and build monumental structures. Nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, Mesopotamia's fertile land provided the perfect conditions for agriculture. The rivers not only supplied water for irrigation but also deposited nutrient-rich silt during their annual floods, creating an environment where crops could thrive. It was in this fertile crescent that the Sumerians established the world's first known civilization. The Sumerians were remarkable for their innovations and contributions to human progress. They built some of the earliest cities, such as Uruk and Ur, which became bustling centers of trade, culture, and governance. Among their many achievements, the Sumerians invented cuneiform writing, one of the earliest systems of writing. This allowed them to record transactions, laws, and stories, preserving their knowledge for future generations. They also made significant advancements in agriculture, developing irrigation techniques that allowed them to cultivate the land more efficiently. Their architectural prowess is evident in the construction of massive ziggurats, which were towering temple complexes that served as both religious and administrative centers. Following the Sumerians, the Akkadian Empire rose to prominence under the leadership of Sargon the Great. Sargon is often regarded as the first empire builder in history, uniting the various city-states of Mesopotamia under a single rule. His reign marked the beginning of a new era of political and military organization, setting the stage for future empires. The Babylonians succeeded the Akkadians, and it was during this period that King Hammurabi created one of the earliest known legal codes. Hammurabi's code was a comprehensive set of laws that covered various aspects of daily life, from trade and property rights to family and criminal law. This legal code was inscribed on stone tablets and placed in public spaces, ensuring that all citizens were aware of the laws and the consequences of breaking them. Imagine a world where laws were still written on stone. Hammurabi's code was the first attempt at establishing order in a chaotic world. This legal system not only provided a framework for justice but also reflected the values and social norms of Babylonian society. It emphasized the importance of fairness and accountability, principles that continue to underpin modern legal systems. The Babylonians were also pioneers in the fields of astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. They meticulously recorded the movements of celestial bodies, developing early forms of the calendar and contributing to our understanding of the cosmos. Their mathematical innovations included the development of a base 60 number system, which is still used today in measuring time and angles. In medicine, they compiled extensive lists of symptoms and treatments, laying the groundwork for future medical practices. One of the most famous figures of Babylon was Nebuchadnezzar II, responsible for the construction of the Hanging Gardens, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. These gardens were said to be an extraordinary feat of engineering, with lush terraces of plants and trees cascading down a series of stone structures. Although the exact location and existence of the Hanging Gardens remain a topic of debate among historians, they continue to capture the imagination as a symbol of the grandeur and innovation of ancient Mesopotamia. And of course, we cannot forget the Assyrians, known for their military prowess and sophisticated administrative system. The Assyrians built a powerful empire through their advanced military tactics and formidable army. They were also skilled administrators, creating an efficient bureaucracy that managed the vast territories under their control. Their ability to maintain order and stability allowed them to dominate the region for centuries. Their capital, Nineveh, became a cultural and economic powerhouse, housing one of the most extensive libraries of the ancient world. The Library of Ashurbanipal in Nineveh contained thousands of clay tablets inscribed with texts on a wide range of subjects, from literature and science to religion and law. This repository of knowledge was a testament to the Assyrians' commitment to learning and intellectual pursuits. But as with all great civilizations, internal struggles and external threats led to their downfall, paving the way for new powers to rise. The history of Mesopotamia is marked by a series of conquests and invasions, as different empires vied for control of this strategically important region. Despite the eventual decline of these ancient civilizations, their contributions to human progress have left an indelible mark on history. Mesopotamia's legacy, however, continues to influence the modern world, reminding us of the ingenuity and resilience of its people. From the development of writing and legal systems to advancements in science and architecture, the achievements of Mesopotamian civilizations laid the foundations for many aspects of contemporary society. As we explore the remnants of this ancient land, we gain a deeper appreciation for the enduring impact of Mesopotamia on our shared human heritage. In the 6th century BCE, a new power emerged, the Persian Empire. This empire, founded by the remarkable leadership of Cyrus the Great, quickly grew to become one of the most influential and expansive empires in ancient history. Stretching from the Indus Valley in the east to the Aegean Sea in the west, the Persian Empire was a marvel of organization, culture, and power. Its rise marked a significant shift in the balance of power in the ancient world, setting the stage for centuries of Persian dominance. Led by Cyrus the Great, the Persians built one of the most sophisticated and tolerant empires the world had ever seen. Cyrus was not only a brilliant military strategist, but also a wise and benevolent ruler. He is often credited with establishing the first charter of human rights, known as the Cyrus Cylinder, which advocated for the freedom of religion and the protection of the diverse cultures within his empire. His policies of tolerance and respect for local customs and traditions helped to unify the vast and varied territories under Persian control. Under Darius the Great, the empire introduced coinage, a postal system, and a vast network of roads. Darius was a visionary leader who understood the importance of infrastructure and communication in maintaining a large empire. He standardized weights and measures, which facilitated trade and economic stability across the empire. The introduction of a unified currency helped to streamline commerce and trade, making the Persian Empire a hub of economic activity and a vast network of roads. These roads, including the famous Royal Road, were engineering marvels of their time. They connected the far reaches of the empire, allowing for efficient movement of troops, goods, and information. The Royal Road in particular stretched over 1,500 miles and featured relay stations with fresh horses and supplies, enabling couriers to travel from one end of the empire to the other in a matter of days. This network of roads not only facilitated trade and communication but also played a crucial role in the administration and control of the empire. It was one of the most advanced civilizations of its time, with its capital, Persepolis, shining as a beacon of wealth and culture. Persepolis was a magnificent city, adorned with grand palaces, intricate reliefs, and impressive columns. It served as the ceremonial capital of the Persian Empire and was a symbol of its power and sophistication. The city's architecture and art reflected the empire's wealth and the diverse influences of the many cultures within its borders. The Persian Empire's unique approach to governance allowed for religious and cultural diversity. Unlike many other empires of the time, the Persians did not impose their own culture or religion on the conquered peoples. Instead, they allowed them to maintain their own traditions and beliefs as long as they pledged loyalty to the Persian king and paid their taxes. This policy of tolerance helped to foster a sense of unity and cooperation among the diverse populations of the empire, contributing to its stability and longevity. The famous Royal Road connected the empire, facilitating trade, communication, and military movements. This road was a lifeline for the empire, enabling the rapid deployment of troops to quell rebellions or defend against external threats. It also facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures, making the Persian Empire a melting pot of innovation and creativity. The efficient communication network allowed the Persian kings to maintain control over their vast territories and respond quickly to any challenges. But no empire lasts forever. Despite its many strengths, the Persian Empire eventually faced internal strife and external pressures that led to its decline. Corruption, heavy taxation, and succession disputes weakened the central authority, making it difficult to maintain control over the vast territories. Additionally, the empire faced constant threats from rival powers and nomadic tribes, which further strained its resources and stability. The mighty Persians met their match in Alexander the Great, who swept through the Middle East, bringing Greek culture and ideas with him. Alexander's conquests marked the end of the Persian Empire and the beginning of the Hellenistic era. His campaigns spread Greek culture and ideas throughout the former Persian territories, leading to a fusion of Greek and Eastern cultures that would shape the region for centuries to come. The fall of the Persian Empire was a turning point in history, but its legacy continued to influence the world in many ways. The legacy of the Persian Empire continues to influence the world today. From its innovative administrative practices to its policies of tolerance and cultural diversity, the Persian Empire set a standard for governance and civilization that has endured through the ages. Its contributions to art, architecture, and culture can still be seen in the modern world, reminding us of the enduring impact of this ancient superpower. With Alexander's conquests, Greek culture mixed with local traditions, creating the Hellenistic era. Cities like Alexandria in Egypt and Antioch in Syria became centers of learning, trade, and philosophy. The Middle East was now a melting pot of cultures, languages, and religions. Following Alexander's death, his empire fragmented, and the region fell under the rule of the Seleucid Empire and later, the Parthians. Rome, expanding its influence eastward, eventually clashed with the Parthians and later the Sasanian Empire, setting the stage for centuries of Roman-Persian conflicts. The rise of Christianity in the Roman-controlled Levant led to significant religious shifts, culminating in the Byzantine Empire's dominance in the region. This era saw the establishment of key religious doctrines and the spread of Christianity throughout the region. Fast forward to the 7th century CE, a time of great change. The Arabian Peninsula, a vast desert land, was home to various tribes and cultures, each with its own traditions and beliefs. It was a time of tribal conflicts, trade caravans, and a rich tapestry of oral traditions. Amidst this backdrop, a man named Muhammad emerged in the bustling city of Mecca. Born into the Quraysh tribe, Muhammad was known for his integrity and wisdom. He often retreated to the cave of Hira to meditate and seek solace. It was during one of these retreats that he received a revelation from the angel Gabriel, marking the beginning of a new faith, Islam. Muhammad's message was simple yet profound. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet. This monotheistic belief was revolutionary in a polytheistic society. Initially, his teachings faced resistance and hostility from the Meccan elites, who saw it as a threat to their power and the lucrative pilgrimage trade centered around the Kaaba. Despite the opposition, Muhammad's following grew, attracting people from all walks of life. His message of social justice, charity, and compassion resonated with many, especially the marginalized and oppressed. In 622 CE, facing increasing persecution, Muhammad and his followers migrated to the city of Yathrib, later known as Medina. This event, known as the Hijra, marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar. In Medina, Muhammad established a community based on Islamic principles, uniting the tribes under a single faith. Over the next decade, Islam spread rapidly across the Arabian Peninsula. After a series of battles and negotiations, Mecca was finally conquered, and the Kaaba was rededicated to the worship of Allah. Within a century of Muhammad's death, Islam had spread far beyond Arabia, reaching the Middle East, North Africa, and parts of Europe. This rapid expansion was facilitated by the unifying force of the new faith and the strategic prowess of the early Muslim leaders. The Rashidun Caliphate, the first of the Islamic caliphates, was established after Muhammad's death. It was followed by the Umayyad and Abbasid caliphates, each contributing to the growth and consolidation of the Islamic Empire. The Umayyads expanded the empire to its greatest extent, stretching from Spain in the west to India in the east. The Abbasids, on the other hand, focused on cultural and intellectual achievements, ushering in what is known as the Islamic Golden Age. During this period, the Islamic world became a beacon of knowledge and innovation. Cities like Baghdad, Cairo, and Cordoba became centers of learning, attracting scholars from all over the world. Think of Baghdad in the 9th century as the Silicon Valley of its time, scholars and scientists making groundbreaking discoveries that would shape the world. The city was home to the House of Wisdom, a grand library and research institution where scholars of various backgrounds came together to study and translate texts from Greek, Persian, and Indian sources. This cross-cultural exchange of knowledge led to significant advancements in various fields, including mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. The works of these scholars were later translated into Latin and played a crucial role in the European Renaissance. The House of Wisdom in Baghdad became the epicenter of knowledge, translating Greek, Persian, and Indian texts, preserving and expanding upon human knowledge. Scholars like Al-Kindi, Al-Farabi, and Al-Razi made significant contributions to philosophy, science, and medicine. Al-Kindi, known as the philosopher of the Arabs, introduced Greek philosophy to the Islamic world. Al-Farabi, a polymath, wrote extensively on logic, metaphysics, and political philosophy. Al-Razi, a pioneering physician, wrote numerous medical texts, including the comprehensive Kitab al-Hawi, which was used as a reference in both the Islamic world and Europe for centuries. Great minds like Al-Khwarizmi, the father of algebra, and Ibn Sina, a pioneer in medicine, changed the world forever. Al-Khwarizmi's works on algebra and algorithms laid the foundation for modern mathematics and computer science. His book, Kitab al-Jabr wal Muqabala, introduced systematic solutions to linear and quadratic equations. Ibn Sina, also known as Avicenna in the West, wrote the Canon of Medicine, a comprehensive medical encyclopedia that remained a standard reference in Europe and the Islamic world for centuries. His contributions to medicine, including the understanding of contagious diseases and the importance of clinical trials, were groundbreaking. But internal divisions and external invasions, like the Mongols, brought this golden age to an end. The Islamic world, once united under the Caliphates, began to fragment into smaller competing states. This internal strife weakened the empire, making it vulnerable to external threats. The Mongol invasions of the 13th century were particularly devastating. The Mongols, known for their ferocity and military prowess, swept across Asia, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Their invasion of the Islamic world marked a turning point in its history. The Mongols, led by Hulagu Khan, sacked Baghdad in 1258, marking a turning point in Islamic civilization. The city, once a thriving center of knowledge and culture, was reduced to ruins. The House of Wisdom, along with countless other libraries and institutions, was destroyed, and many scholars were killed or fled. This event marked the end of the Islamic Golden Age and the beginning of a period of decline. However, the legacy of the Golden Age lived on through the works of the scholars and scientists who had made such significant contributions to human knowledge. Despite the fall, the contributions of the Islamic Golden Age continued to influence the world for centuries to come. The knowledge preserved and expanded upon by Islamic scholars was later transmitted to Europe, playing a crucial role in the Renaissance and the scientific revolution. The works of Al-Khwarizmi, Ibn Sina, and many others were translated into Latin and studied by European scholars, laying the foundation for modern science and medicine. The legacy of the Islamic Golden Age is a testament to the enduring power of knowledge and the importance of cross-cultural exchange in the advancement of human civilization. By the 14th century, a new power was rising, the Ottoman Empire. From a small state in Anatolia, it expanded into one of the longest-lasting empires in history, ruling over the Middle East, North Africa, and even parts of Europe. For centuries, the Ottomans controlled the region, but by the 19th century, their power was waning. European imperialism and internal struggles weakened the empire, leading to its collapse after World War I. Despite its fall, the Ottoman Empire left a lasting cultural legacy that still influences the region today. After the fall of the Ottoman Empire, the Middle East was divided by European powers. Artificial borders were drawn, setting the stage for decades of conflict. The discovery of oil turned the Middle East into a battleground for global superpowers. The Arab-Israeli conflict, the Iranian Revolution, and the Gulf Wars reshaped the region. So, what does the future hold for the Middle East? With technological advancements, young populations, and shifting global dynamics, the region stands at a crossroads. Will it move toward peace and prosperity, or will conflicts continue to shape its destiny? One thing is certain, the history of the Middle East is far from over. If you found this journey through history fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what topics you'd love to see next. The future is bright, and the possibilities are endless. The Byzantine Empire, often overshadowed by its Western Roman counterpart, played a pivotal role in the history of the Middle East. Emerging from the Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantines established their capital in Constantinople, a city that would become a beacon of culture, trade, and power. The Byzantine influence in the Middle East was profound, marked by a series of conflicts and cultural exchanges. The empire's strategic location made it a crucial player in the region, often clashing with neighboring powers like the Persian Empire and later, the Islamic Caliphates. These conflicts were not just battles for territory but also for religious and cultural dominance. Despite the turmoil, the Byzantine Empire contributed significantly to the cultural and intellectual landscape of the Middle East. The preservation of Greek and Roman knowledge by Byzantine scholars laid the groundwork for the Islamic Golden Age. Their architectural marvels, like the Hagia Sophia, influenced Islamic architecture, blending Byzantine and Islamic styles in a harmonious fusion. Moreover, the Byzantine Empire served as a conduit for the exchange of ideas, art, and technology between the East and the West. This cultural melting pot enriched the Middle Eastern heritage, leaving a lasting legacy that can still be seen today. In the end, the fall of Constantinople in 1453 to the Ottoman Turks marked the end of the Byzantine Empire, but also the beginning of a new chapter in Middle Eastern history. The Byzantine legacy, however, continues to echo through time, reminding us of a period when the Middle East was a crossroads of civilizations. If you found this deep dive into the Byzantine Empire intriguing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what other historical periods you'd like to explore. The story of the Middle East is a tapestry of interconnected cultures and histories, and there's always more to uncover. The Crusades, an era marked by epic battles, religious fervor, and cultural exchanges, played a crucial role in shaping the Middle East. Spanning from the late 11th century to the late 13th century, these military campaigns were initiated by European Christians aiming to reclaim the Holy Land from Muslim control. The Crusades were a series of 9 major expeditions, each with its own unique set of objectives and outcomes. The First Crusade, launched in 1096, saw European knights capturing Jerusalem in 1099, establishing several Crusader states in the Levant. This victory, however, was short-lived. The Muslim world, initially fragmented, began to unite under leaders like Saladin, who recaptured Jerusalem in 1187 during the Second Crusade. These battles were not merely conflicts over territory, but also clashes of ideologies and cultures, leaving a lasting impact on both the Middle East and Europe. The Crusades had profound consequences for the Middle East. The constant warfare devastated many regions, leading to significant loss of life and economic hardship. However, the period also saw a remarkable exchange of knowledge and culture. Crusaders brought back advanced medical practices, architectural techniques, and scientific knowledge from the Islamic world to Europe. Conversely, the Middle East was exposed to European customs and technologies, leading to a complex web of cultural intermingling. The long-term consequences of the Crusades are still felt today. They deepened the divide between Christianity and Islam, sowing seeds of mistrust that have occasionally resurfaced in modern times. However, they also laid the groundwork for future interactions between the East and the West, fostering a dialogue that, despite its turbulent beginnings, contributed to the cultural and intellectual growth of both regions. As we reflect on this tumultuous period, it's essential to acknowledge both the conflicts and the exchanges that shaped the Middle East's history. The Crusades were a pivotal chapter, illustrating the enduring impact of cultural encounters and the complexities of human history. If you found this exploration of the Crusades enlightening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. The history of the Middle East is a tapestry woven with countless threads, each adding depth and richness to the story of our world. The Mongol invasions of the 13th century were a seismic event that reshaped the Middle East in profound ways. Originating from the steppes of Central Asia, the Mongol Empire, under the leadership of Genghis Khan and his successors, embarked on a campaign of conquest that left no region untouched. The Middle East, with its rich cities and strategic importance, became a prime target for the Mongol horde. The invasions began in earnest in 1219 when Genghis Khan attacked the Khwarezmian Empire, a powerful state in what is now Iran and Turkmenistan. The Mongols, known for their unparalleled military prowess and ruthless tactics, decimated entire cities, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. The fall of Baghdad in 1258, under the leadership of Hulagu Khan, was particularly catastrophic. The city, once a thriving center of learning and culture, was sacked and burned, its libraries and institutions destroyed, and its population massacred. This event marked the end of the Islamic Golden Age and a significant setback for the region. Despite the initial devastation, the Mongol invasions also led to significant changes and eventual integration. The Mongols, once conquerors, began to assimilate into the cultures they had subdued. Under the rule of the Ilkhanate, a division of the Mongol Empire that controlled much of the Middle East, there was a period of relative stability and cultural exchange. The Mongols adopted Islam and Persian culture, fostering a unique blend of Mongol and Middle Eastern traditions. Trade flourished under Mongol rule, with the Silk Road connecting the East and West more effectively than ever before. This exchange brought new ideas, technologies, and goods to the region, revitalizing its economy and cultural life. The Mongol rulers, recognizing the value of the scholars and artisans they had once sought to destroy, became patrons of the arts and sciences, leading to a resurgence in cultural and intellectual activity. The legacy of the Mongol invasions is a complex tapestry of destruction and renewal. While the initial impact was devastating, the eventual integration of Mongol rulers into Middle Eastern society led to a period of cultural synthesis and economic prosperity. This chapter in the history of the Middle East serves as a powerful reminder of the resilience and adaptability of human societies in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. If you found this exploration of the Mongol invasions insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. History is a story of destruction and rebirth, and the Middle East's journey through the Mongol era is a testament to the enduring spirit of its people. The Safavid Empire, which emerged in the early 16th century, marked a significant chapter in the history of the Middle East. Founded by Shah Ismail I in 1501, the Safavid dynasty established one of the most enduring empires in the region, ruling over present-day Iran and beyond for more than 2 centuries. The rise of the Safavid Empire was deeply intertwined with the spread of Shia Islam. Shah Ismail I declared Shia Islam the state religion, a move that set the Safavids apart from their Sunni neighbors, most notably the Ottoman Empire. This religious transformation had profound implications, not only solidifying a distinct Iranian identity, but also sowing the seeds for future sectarian conflicts. The Safavid Empire and the Ottoman Empire, both powerful and ambitious, were frequently at odds. Their rivalry culminated in a series of protracted and brutal wars, the most notable being the Battle of Chaldiran in 1514. The Ottomans, with their superior artillery, dealt a crushing blow to the Safavid forces. However, this did not diminish the Safavid resolve. Under subsequent rulers like Shah Abbas I, the Safavids managed to reclaim lost territories and even expand their influence. Shah Abbas I, who reigned from 1588 to 1629, is often considered the greatest Safavid ruler. He relocated the capital to Isfahan, transforming it into one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Isfahan became a hub of architecture, art, and culture, with its stunning mosques, palaces, and bridges still standing as testaments to the Safavid era. The Safavid Empire was not just a military and political powerhouse but also a beacon of cultural renaissance. Persian art, poetry, and philosophy flourished under Safavid patronage. The empire's intricate carpets, delicate miniatures, and exquisite ceramics became highly sought after across the globe. Persian was established as the language of administration and culture, further cementing Iran's cultural identity. Moreover, the Safavid era saw significant developments in trade and economy. The empire's strategic position along the Silk Road facilitated an influx of goods, ideas, and technologies. Shah Abbas I's reforms, including the development of a standing army and fostering trade with Europe, contributed to the empire's prosperity and stability. The Safavid Empire's legacy is multifaceted. It solidified Shia Islam's dominance in Iran, setting the stage for the religious landscape we see today. Its cultural achievements left an enduring mark on Persian art, architecture, and literature. Despite its eventual decline in the 18th century, the Safavid Empire remains a pivotal chapter in the history of the Middle East, illustrating the region's resilience, creativity, and complexity. If you found this exploration of the Safavid Empire enlightening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. History is a rich tapestry of stories, and the Safavid era is a testament to the enduring spirit of the Middle East and its people. As the dust settled after World War I, the Middle East was on the brink of a new era, but not one of its own choosing. The defeat of the Ottoman Empire left a power vacuum, and the victors of the war, Britain and France, saw an opportunity to reshape the region to their advantage. This intervention would have lasting repercussions, setting the stage for much of the modern Middle East's political landscape. The Sykes-Picot Agreement of 1916, a secret arrangement between Britain and France, outlined how the two powers would divide the Ottoman territories. This agreement laid the groundwork for the creation of new states under the guise of mandates from the League of Nations. The British took control of Palestine, Transjordan, and Iraq, while the French were given mandates over Syria and Lebanon. In Iraq, Britain faced immediate resistance. The Iraqi people, who had hoped for independence, found themselves under British control. This led to the 1920 Iraqi Revolt, a significant uprising that forced Britain to reconsider its approach. Eventually, Britain installed a monarchy under King Faisal I, hoping to stabilize the region while maintaining influence. Palestine, perhaps the most contentious mandate, saw increasing tensions between Jewish and Arab populations. The Balfour Declaration of 1917 had promised a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, leading to waves of Jewish immigration. This created friction with the Arab population, setting the stage for decades of conflict. In Syria and Lebanon, French rule faced its own challenges. The French Mandate was marked by uprisings and demands for independence. In 1925, the Great Syrian Revolt erupted, a widespread rebellion against French rule. Although the revolt was suppressed, it underscored the growing desire for self-determination in the region. The arbitrary borders drawn by the British and French often ignored ethnic, tribal, and religious divisions, creating states with diverse and sometimes conflicting populations. This has had lasting impacts on regional politics, contributing to ongoing conflicts and instability. The legacy of the British and French mandates is complex. On one hand, they introduced modern state institutions and infrastructure. On the other, their divide-and-rule tactics and disregard for local aspirations sowed seeds of discord that persist to this day. As we reflect on this chapter of Middle Eastern history, it's crucial to understand how these mandates have shaped the political and social dynamics of the region. The decisions made a century ago continue to influence the Middle East, reminding us of the profound and lasting impact of colonialism. If you found this exploration of the British and French mandates insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. History is a complex web of events, and understanding it helps us navigate the present and future. The Arab-Israeli conflict is one of the most enduring and complex struggles in modern history, marked by a series of wars, peace processes, and ongoing efforts for stability. This chapter delves into the key events that have shaped this conflict and explores the enduring quest for peace in the region. The origins of the Arab-Israeli conflict can be traced back to the early 20th century, with the rise of both Arab nationalism and Zionism. The establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, following the end of the British Mandate in Palestine, was a turning point that led to the First Arab-Israeli War. Neighboring Arab states, including Egypt, Jordan, Syria, and Iraq, invaded the newly declared state, but Israel managed to secure its independence. This war resulted in significant territorial changes and the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinian Arabs, an issue that remains central to the conflict. The Six-Day War in 1967 was another pivotal moment. Israel launched a preemptive strike against Egypt, Jordan, and Syria, resulting in a swift and decisive victory. Israel captured the Sinai Peninsula, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights. These territories became focal points of contention, with international debates over their status continuing to this day. In response to the ongoing conflict, the 1973 Yom Kippur War saw Egypt and Syria launch a surprise attack on Israel. Although initially successful, the war ended with Israeli forces regaining the upper hand. This conflict led to the Camp David Accords in 1978, brokered by U.S. President Jimmy Carter. Egyptian President Anwar Sadat and Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin signed a peace treaty, making Egypt the first Arab country to officially recognize Israel. The Oslo Accords of the 1990s marked another significant attempt at peace. Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin and Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat, with the mediation of U.S. President Bill Clinton, signed agreements aimed at achieving a two-state solution. While the accords brought hope, they ultimately failed to resolve key issues such as borders, the status of Jerusalem, and the right of return for Palestinian refugees. The early 2000s saw the outbreak of the Second Intifada, a period of intensified Israeli-Palestinian violence. Efforts to revive the peace process have continued, with varying degrees of success. The 2002 Arab Peace Initiative, proposed by Saudi Arabia, offered normalization of relations between Arab states and Israel in exchange for a comprehensive peace agreement. While it gained some international support, it did not lead to a final resolution. In recent years, the Abraham Accords have marked a new chapter. In 2020, the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain normalized relations with Israel, followed by Sudan and Morocco. These agreements, brokered by the United States, have been hailed as historic. Yet they also highlight the ongoing complexity of achieving a broader peace that includes the Palestinian people. The Arab-Israeli conflict remains a deeply emotional and multifaceted issue with profound implications for regional and global stability. As we reflect on its history, it's crucial to understand the human impact and the ongoing efforts to find a just and lasting peace. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the Arab-Israeli conflict. If you found this chapter informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Understanding history is key to shaping a better future. The Gulf Wars have significantly shaped the modern Middle East and influenced global politics in profound ways. Let's delve into the causes, major events, and lasting impact of these pivotal conflicts. The First Gulf War, also known as the Persian Gulf War or Operation Desert Storm, began in 1990 when Iraq, led by Saddam Hussein, invaded Kuwait. The invasion was driven by Iraq's desire to control Kuwait's vast oil reserves and address economic grievances. The international community, led by the United States under President George H.W. Bush, swiftly condemned the invasion. A coalition of 35 nations formed to liberate Kuwait, resulting in a decisive military campaign that lasted just over a month in early 1991. The war ended with the withdrawal of Iraqi forces from Kuwait and significant damage to Iraq's military infrastructure. The Second Gulf War, or the Iraq War, began in 2003. The United States under President George W. Bush and its allies launched an invasion of Iraq, citing the need to eliminate weapons of mass destruction, WMDs, and end Saddam Hussein's regime. Despite the initial swift military success and the toppling of Saddam Hussein, the war led to prolonged instability. No WMDs were found, and Iraq descended into a period of insurgency, sectarian violence, and political turmoil. The war officially ended in 2011 with the withdrawal of U.S. troops, but its repercussions are still felt today. The Gulf Wars had significant consequences for the Middle East and the world. Economically, the wars disrupted oil production and global markets, leading to fluctuations in oil prices. Politically, they reshaped regional alliances and power dynamics. The First Gulf War reinforced U.S. influence in the Middle East, while the Second Gulf War led to a power vacuum in Iraq, contributing to the rise of extremist groups like ISIS. The human cost of the Gulf Wars has been immense, with thousands of lives lost and millions of people displaced. The wars have also left a legacy of trauma and destruction that continues to affect the region's social fabric. As we reflect on the Gulf Wars, it's crucial to understand their complex causes and far-reaching impacts. These conflicts highlight the delicate balance of power, resources, and politics in the Middle East and serve as a reminder of the profound consequences of war. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the Gulf Wars. If you found this chapter informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Understanding history is key to shaping a better future. The Arab Spring, a wave of revolutionary protests and uprisings that swept across the Middle East and North Africa, beginning in late 2010, marked a significant chapter in the region's modern history. Sparked by a single act of defiance in Tunisia, the movement rapidly spread, leading to the toppling of long-standing regimes and igniting a fervent quest for democracy and reform. The catalyst for the Arab Spring was the self-immolation of Mohamed Bouazizi, a Tunisian street vendor, in December 2010. His desperate act of protest against government corruption and economic hardship resonated deeply with millions, leading to mass demonstrations. Within weeks, Tunisia's President Zine El Abidine Ben Ali, who had ruled for over 2 decades, was ousted. Inspired by Tunisia's success, similar uprisings erupted across the region. In Egypt, massive protests in Cairo's Tahrir Square led to the resignation of President Hosni Mubarak after 30 years in power. Libya saw a violent civil war that culminated in the fall and death of Muammar Gaddafi, ending his 42-year rule. Yemen's President Ali Abdullah Saleh stepped down after prolonged protests and violent clashes. In Syria, what began as peaceful protests against President Bashar al-Assad's regime descended into a brutal civil war that continues to this day. The Arab Spring brought hope for democratic change and greater political freedoms, but the outcomes were mixed and often fraught with challenges. While Tunisia managed a relatively peaceful transition to democracy, other nations faced ongoing conflict, political instability, and economic hardship. In Egypt, the initial euphoria gave way to disillusionment as the country oscillated between military rule and brief democratic governance. The Arab Spring also had significant geopolitical implications. It altered regional power dynamics, influenced international relations, and highlighted the deep-seated issues of governance, human rights, and economic disparity in the Middle East. The movement underscored the universal desire for dignity, justice, and freedom, but also the complexities of achieving lasting democratic reform in a region with diverse political and social landscapes. As we reflect on the Arab Spring, it's important to recognize both its achievements and its ongoing struggles. The quest for democracy and reform in the Middle East is far from over, and the lessons learned from these uprisings continue to shape the region's future. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the Arab Spring. If you found this chapter thought-provoking, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Understanding these pivotal events helps us grasp the ongoing journey toward a more just and democratic world. The Syrian Civil War, one of the most devastating conflicts of the 21st century, has reshaped not only Syria, but also the entire Middle Eastern landscape. Originating in 2011 as a part of the broader Arab Spring, the war began with peaceful protests against President Bashar al-Assad's regime. These demonstrations were met with violent crackdowns, leading to a full-scale civil war that has persisted for over a decade. The conflict has seen a complex web of factions, including the Syrian government, various rebel groups, Kurdish forces, and extremist organizations like ISIS. The involvement of international powers, including Russia, the United States, Iran, and Turkey, has further complicated the situation, turning Syria into a battleground for regional and global influence. Key events in the Syrian civil war include the brutal siege of Aleppo, the use of chemical weapons in attacks like those in Ghouta, and the rise and fall of ISIS. The battle for Raqqa, ISIS's self-declared capital, marked a significant turning point, but the war's end remains elusive. The humanitarian crisis resulting from the conflict is staggering. Over 500,000 people have been killed, and millions more have been displaced internally or have fled as refugees, seeking safety in neighboring countries and beyond. Entire cities lie in ruins, and the infrastructure has been decimated, leaving millions without basic necessities like food, water, and medical care. The war has also left deep psychological scars. Families have been torn apart, children have grown up knowing only conflict, and the social fabric of Syrian society has been irreparably damaged. Human rights violations have been rampant, with reports of atrocities committed by all sides. Despite the immense suffering, stories of resilience and hope emerge from the rubble. Syrians continue to strive for peace, rebuild their lives, and dream of a future free from violence. Humanitarian organizations and international efforts work tirelessly to provide aid and support, though the path to recovery is long and fraught with challenges. The Syrian civil war serves as a grim reminder of the destructive power of conflict and the urgent need for diplomatic solutions. As we reflect on this chapter, let's honor the resilience of the Syrian people and commit to supporting efforts for peace and rebuilding. Thank you for joining us on this somber yet important exploration of the Syrian civil war. If you found this chapter enlightening, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Understanding these critical events helps us advocate for a more peaceful and just world. The Middle East holds a pivotal role in the global economy, a position solidified by its vast reserves of oil and natural gas. This region, home to some of the world's largest oil producers like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and the United Arab Emirates, has long been the heartbeat of global energy supply. The discovery of oil in the early 20th century transformed the Middle East, bringing unprecedented wealth and geopolitical significance. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, was founded in Baghdad in 1960, and has since played a crucial role in regulating oil production and prices worldwide. The Middle East's influence over global oil markets cannot be overstated, with its policies and production levels impacting economies and energy security across the globe. But the Middle East's economic importance isn't limited to oil. The region is also a critical hub for global trade. The Suez Canal in Egypt and the Strait of Hormuz near Oman are two of the world's most strategic maritime choke points, facilitating the flow of goods and energy between continents. These waterways are vital arteries of global commerce, and any disruption can have significant repercussions on international trade. Recognizing the volatility of oil markets and the need for sustainable growth, many Middle Eastern countries are actively pursuing economic diversification. Initiatives like Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 aim to reduce dependence on oil revenues by investing in sectors such as tourism, technology, and renewable energy. The United Arab Emirates, particularly Dubai, has already made significant strides in becoming a global business and tourism hub, showcasing the potential for a diversified economy. This shift towards economic diversification is not just about financial stability, it's also about creating jobs, fostering innovation, and ensuring long-term prosperity for future generations. The Middle East is leveraging its strategic location, rich cultural heritage, and youthful population to build a more resilient and dynamic economic landscape. In conclusion, the Middle East's role in the global economy is multifaceted and evolving. From being the cornerstone of global energy supply to becoming a vital trade hub and a beacon of economic diversification, the region continues to shape and influence the world economy in profound ways. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the Middle East's economic landscape. If you found this chapter insightful, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Understanding these economic dynamics helps us appreciate the interconnectedness of our world and the importance of sustainable development. As we conclude our journey through the history and future of Let's keep exploring the wonders of our world, one story at a time.